School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. I'm the Commanding General Yahana, Priest and Officer Tapazar. This is the ISUPK Killeen Brotherhood class. Understand? Go ahead and clap it up. We'll go ahead and get into it. You understand? The title of today's class is called No Greater Love. You understand? A couple of days ago, August 5th was an amazing day, man. It was an amazing day. You understand? At least from my standpoint, I feel like it's bigger than Juneteenth. You understand? At least currently, you understand it's a bigger or if it's not bigger than Juneteenth, we should honor it and venerate it and memorialize it. You know what I'm saying? In that same capacity. You understand? If you don't know the history, you understand, in Montgomery, Alabama, at the riverfront, there was an incident. You understand that took place, and what happened was that there was a riverboat. You understand, that was trying to dock at the riverfront, and it was some oppressors that had a small little boat there that was blocking the riverboat from docking and allowing the other passengers, which was mostly filled with our people, you know what I'm saying, so-called blacks. You understand? You know what I mean? Hey, you can turn that fan on if you want. I turned it off because it was blowing the Frank and Murray. So like, but yeah, so they were trying to dock and let all the passengers come off of the boat. But this small boat that the oppressors had, they didn't want to move. They didn't want to move their boat. So they had a brother that was assigned to do security there. You know what I'm saying, at the riverfront. And the brother, you know what I'm saying, he had notified the oppressors that they needed to move their boat. They pretty much blew them off, and they left to go drink or go do something else, and they left their boat there, which was preventing the riverboat from docking. You understand? And so the brother just doing his job. He was security. He was over, you know what I mean, that particular area. He went to go try to move the boat to allow the riverboat. I think the riverboat was called Harriet. I don't know if it was named after Harriet Tubman or not, but that was the name of the boat. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna get deeper too, because there's a lot of history behind this area, this particular area where this incident occurred. You understand?
Right.
So when he tried to move the boat, about 3 or 4 white, you know what I'm saying, men assaulted this brother. You understand? Who was only trying to do his job. Oh yeah. If you could, and you know what I mean, I was only trying to do his job, man. And they rushed him. And what happened after that was a beautiful thing, man. You understand? It was a beautiful thing that happened after that. You understand? Our people saw our brother being assaulted. You know what I'm saying? And saw our brother being jumped, and they came to his aid. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be honest, man. Like, you know, after Trayvon Martin, you understand? What's the brother who was selling the cigarettes that got choked out in New York? What's that brother name, man? I want to say Freddie Gray, but I'm not sure. The brother who got choked out for selling the cigarettes, man. The police, you know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. Well, that brother, then you had, you know what I'm saying? You had George Floyd, where our people had to watch, you know what I'm saying, our oppressors kill our brothers in front of us. You understand? Then you had the brother that was on the subway train. I can't remember his name. Water priest. So I can't remember his name. That brother on the train who got choked out and killed, you know what I'm saying, by an oppressor, and everybody just watched. And I'm gonna tell you something, man. That's the pride of our oppressor that actually felt and thought that we was gonna sit there and watch it happen again. Right. You know what I mean? The pride and the arrogance that they felt like they had the audacity to feel like they're gonna put hands on this man. You know what I mean? That was only doing what he was hired to do. And then we just gonna sit there and watch it go down and not do nothing. You understand? And what took place after that was beautiful, man. You know what I'm saying? You had brothers coming from off the boat, from off the behind the dock, you understand, running down the stairs. You even had one brother, you know what I'm saying? They call him the Black Aquaman, you know what I'm saying, who jumped in the river and swam clear across the river, you know what I mean, to go help this brother, man. And then, if I'm not mistaken, he's the one that did the rock bottom on the oppressor. He, you know what I mean, he went over there and then pulled a, you know, he pulled an outstanding wrestling move on that oppressor, man, and slammed him on his head, man, where he belonged, man. You understand? But what is all of this about, man? Was it just an altercation? Was it just you know, a discrepancy about boat parking? No, man. No, it wasn't, man. What it is that that this is spiritual. This is spiritual, man. What happened in Montgomery, you know what I'm saying, the riverfront was a spiritual thing, man. And what we're gonna do today is get into the history of this particular location, man. You understand? You know what I mean? And as a matter of fact, if you on Clubhouse, man, you know what I'm saying, I've linked the actual article at the top if you want to follow along, you understand? As a matter of fact, I might need to go ahead and post it into the chat as well on Facebook. Let me go ahead and see real fast. But I'm gonna send this to you, Abiar. On Clubhouse, share the room. You understand? If you're on Facebook, share the room. YouTube, you know what I'm saying? Send this to you, all right? Yeah. I sent you the link. Abiar. If one of y'all can put that into the chat as well, I'm gonna send it to you. Actually, if I'm gonna put it in the Killeen chat, you just get it from there. All right? Put that into the Facebook chat, to the YouTube chat. All right. Yeah, man. So if you can pull that up, we're gonna get into the history of this riverfront in Montgomery, Alabama, and it's some heavy stuff that's gonna come out, man. You know what I mean? Some of y'all may have already found out about it because, you know, TikTok was all over it. Brothers start doing, it's like TikTok is just filled with researchers. You know what I'm saying? Anytime something take place, all the woke blackity black folks just start digging in. You know what I mean? And that's a good thing, man, because the scriptures say in the last days that knowledge is going to increase. You understand? So people aren't just satisfied with, you know, knowledge on the surface level. They want to dig into the history. You understand? And that's what the scriptures talk about, how the earth is going to help the woman. You understand? Meaning that all the buried information is going to come out, because when you're just dealing with the actual incident and you don't know like what's behind it, you know what I mean? You're not able to draw what you need to draw from that particular situation. We about to do that right now. I'll go ahead and read that, man, and start with the title and everything.
From Wisconsin, the Montgomery slave trade. Warehouses used in the slave trade.
Read that again.
The Montgomery slave trade / warehouses used in the slave trade.
All right, go ahead and start reading.
Montgomery had grown into one of the most prominent slave trading communities in Alabama by 1860.
Okay.
At the start of the Civil War, the city had a larger slave population than Mobile, New Orleans, or Natchez, Mississippi.
Read that again. Montgomery, Alabama had a larger slave population than Mobile, Alabama, New Orleans, Louisiana, and Natchez, Mississippi. These were prime areas where plantations were at, you understand, in the South. And Montgomery, Alabama was a capital of slave trade, man. You understand? This brawl, the Montgomery brawl, this is a boiling over of years of history of white systemic, you know what I'm saying, racism, man. You understand? Keep reading, now.
Concert. Montgomery attracted a growing number of major slave traders whose presence dominated the city's geography and economy.
Nice. So slave traders is what dominated Montgomery, Alabama, man. The economy and the geography, which means that not only was this a hub of slaves, it was the business itself of slavery was what Montgomery was built on, man. All right, keep reading.
The Montgomery probate office granted at least 164 licenses to slave traders operating in the city from 1848 to 1860.
Now listen, you have to understand this. When it says the probate office, that's like you going to your city office to get a business license. How many licenses did they issue out?
164 licenses
to white men who were in the business of trading slaves, man. Catching slaves, trading slaves, selling slaves, man. This is the history of Montgomery. Yeah, the Montgomery Brawl. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and play this real quick, man. For y'all that's not familiar with it, let's go ahead and play this real fast, man. You dig what I'm saying? Hold on real quick. Let's go ahead and play this.
Stop playing with these niggas.
Let go. Hey, I'm really proud of y'all. Montgomery Brawl. Bitch, not one but them all. Montgomery Brawl. Shout out bro that can swim. Montgomery Brawl. Salute shit, really all of them. Montgomery Brawl. Shout out Unc with the chair. Montgomery Brawl. Everybody that was there. Montgomery Brawl. Threw the hat off at the start. Montgomery Brawl. Man, shout out to the girl. Montgomery Brawl. Hey, now y'all done started some shit, so we gon' finish y'all it. Did. And this time, everybody about to witness it. Y'all. Bro told them to move, just doing this job. But y'all wanted to jump him, so now we got a prize. Let's get it. All right, bet. Let me tell y'all what really happened. Heard they was jumping on my cousin, let me off, Captain. Cuz came out the water like, let's get it cracking. Unc came with the chair like I got some action. Cuz came no shirt like I got Sebastian. I got him. Even the women getting hit like, damn, what happened? Hey, this shit was kinda lit like, damn, it's cracking. I even seen a rock bottom like, damn, this wrestling. Seen a couple of them boys go night-night. And we got the first black man to swim to a fight. Salute. If you mad at this song, don't mention me. Don't do it. But fuck that chair going down in history. Hey, I'm really proud of y'all. Montgomery Brawl. Bitch, not one but them all. Montgomery Brawl. Shout out bro that can swim. Montgomery Brawl. Salute shit, really all of them. Montgomery Brawl. Shout out Unc with the chair. Montgomery Brawl. Everybody that was there. Montgomery Brawl. Threw the hat off at the start. Montgomery Brawl. Man, shout out to the girl. Montgomery Brawl. Yeah, this a real good moment in history right now.
Heavy. He said it's a good moment in history right now, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like this should replace Juneteenth.
Right.
You understand? August 5th, 2023, man.
Right.
Montgomery Brawl. You know what I'm saying? The Montgomery 19, man. I don't know how they counted all the numbers like that to know who was what. But yeah, man, you understand? Like this is a beautiful thing. And the brother said let's all smile right now. Why? Because why? Because it was the spirit of Christ that was going on, man.
Right.
It might have just looked like, oh, it's a black man getting jumped, and here they come to jump some white boys. No, man. That was the spirit of Christ that went down in that incident, man. You understand? And just based off the history that we're reading, you're seeing what these people have been going through since 1846, really since 1833. Let's find some more facts on Montgomery, man. The history of Montgomery, Alabama. Go ahead, Art.
Concert. Slave traders' offices were located primarily along Commerce Street and Market Street, now Dexter Avenue.
Now, what I could do is go ahead and pull up, you know what I'm saying, the map, which, you know, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let me do that real fast for y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to pull up the map, you know what I'm saying, right now so y'all can see what's going on here. Because, see, Commerce Street, you're going to realize, man, this ain't like no, let me do it through Google. That's the best way to do it. I'm gonna do my questions a lot. What y'all gonna come to find out is, man, all this is connected. Okay, what this brother's reading off right here, it's all connected. Let's do this real quick. Commerce Street. here. Let's do it. Okay. Now, this is where the fight. This is Commerce Street right here. This is where the fight occurred at the riverfront right here. Now read that again, Art.
Colonel Wakan, sir. Slave traders' offices were located primarily along Commerce Street.
Let me see if I can get some zoom in. Oh, yeah, that's beautiful. This is Commerce Street right here. Okay, I'm zooming in on this, man. This is Commerce Street. Over here is the riverfront. This is where the fight occurred, right here. This is the whole docking area. And this is where the whole altercation occurred. Commerce Street is right here. And what do they do on Commerce Street, Art?
Colonel Wakan, sir. Slave traders' offices were located primarily on Commerce Street and Market Street, now Dexter Avenue.
So let's go back over here and see. On Commerce Street, let me see where some on Market Avenue at. You won't see, but the bottom line is it says that the slaves were paraded on Commerce Street. Why? Because this is where the slaves would get off the river. You understand? Right. And they would march them down Commerce Street, where the offices were at, the slave traders' offices. And what happened is this is where they would get registered at. You understand? They would get registered on Commerce Street. All right. And get marked. Keep reading on.
Colonel Wakan, sir. Over time, Montgomery became one of the most important and conspicuous slave trading communities in the United States.
The most what?
The most important and conspicuous slave trading community in the United States.
So like y'all know how they say Simi Valley? I think it's called Simi Valley as far as like for tech in California. That's a hub for tech companies. Right. Exactly. Silicon Valley, Salaki, Thawada. Silicon Valley is the hub for new tech companies. Montgomery, Alabama was the Silicon Valley for slaves, man, in the South. That's what this is saying. Saying the most conspicuous. Okay? And this incident, the history of Montgomery, where they had these slave trader offices at, where they would parade slaves down. This was less than a block. It was 2/10 of a mile from where this brawl took place at in Montgomery, Alabama, man. You understand? So it's some history there. And the scriptures say this: God requires that which is past. Right. You understand? And things is coming around full circle. Keep reading, now.
Concept. After the Alabama legislature banned free Black people from residing in the state.
Hold on. Don't just glide over that. The Alabama legislature did what?
Banned free Black people from residing in the state.
The Alabama legislature banned free Black people from residing and living in the state of Alabama, man. Keep reading.
Concept. In 1833, enslavement was the only legally authorized status for African Americans in Montgomery.
Say what?
Enslavement was the only authorized legal status for African Americans in Montgomery.
See, right now you got the 13th Amendment, which means that you can't be a slave unless you commit a crime. But it was law. It was actual state law that in order for you to reside in Alabama, you can only reside there as a slave, man. And this was the law in Alabama, man. And you want to talk about racism is not systemic. It's written in the history of this country. You understand? This is not just a white person calling you a nigga. This is not just, somebody feeling like they're superior to you. This was written into the society as law. Like how the Lord gave us our laws, this was the law of the land. That you could not live in Alabama unless you was a slave, man. Yeah, shout out to the Montgomery 19, man. You know what I mean? Montgomery Broad. Yeah. Shout out, man. Shout out to those brothers and sisters that went to the aid of that Black man being assaulted and damn near lynched by our oppressors in Montgomery, Alabama, man. Shout out to them, man, because they had the spirit of Christ, man. It's no greater love. You know what I mean? What all those brothers and sisters showed was the love of God, the love of Christ. That's the love of God, man. See, your oppressor wants you to feel like the love of God is handing out your love to everybody, man. But what makes love special is that it's not for everybody. Right. That's what makes the love of God special, is that his love is not for everybody, man. It's for so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man. You understand? And when that brother did the Bobby Schmurder, right, you know what I'm saying? He threw that joint up. You know what I mean? When he did that Bobby Schmurder, man, it was like the back signal. You know what I'm saying? It was a call to action. And blacks responded. And I'm gonna tell you something, man. This has been a build-up since if I'm not mistaken, not Freddie Gray. That Freddie Gray was a brother in Baltimore who got his back snapped. I can't think of the brother who was selling the Lucy's, the cigarettes out there on the street, and the cop choked him to death, man. You understand? Trayvon Martin. You understand? George Floyd, watching a man be killed right in front of you, die right in front of you. The brother on the train recently, man, with that Marine that had him in the MMA chokehold and choked him to death, man. We wasn't gonna sit there and watch our brother get stomped out, you know what I'm saying, and not do nothing. You understand? And I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. This ain't over with. Somebody give me Matthew 24, man. Start like verse, I'm gonna say like verse 2 or 3, when it says, be not deceived.
Eric Gardner.
Hey, the water, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Maybe rise again. Eric Gardner. Choke that brother out, man, and all everybody could do was watch. But we wasn't gonna stand by and watch this. You understand? Yeah, Matthew 24. Let me get that. Because this ain't over, man. And everything that's going on right now is in the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? That's why brotherhood is so important right now, man, because we're in a critical and pivotal time right now. You understand? And what's gonna be our defense? What's gonna be our weapon is brotherhood. Go ahead, Art.
Oh, so like, sir, if I could, it's so heavy what you bringing out, like that. If that was their only legal status for them to be enslaved and to live in Alabama, just a quick Google search says that in Alabama, you know what I'm saying, is black people constitute 28% of the residents there, but 43% of the jail population and 54% of the people in prison.
That's right.
So that just goes to that 13th Amendment, what you just said. It's like, sir.
Real talk, man. Like, they're trying to maintain what they have. And what's even heavier, I'm hoping it's going to bring it out. I don't know if I read that in this article or the information was on a different article, but it was half of the population of Montgomery or of Alabama at the time was slaves. And it was over 400, I believe it was like over 485,000 slaves, either in Montgomery or in the state of Alabama, man. You understand? Like, it was no small number, man. So we even had a large population then, and 100% of us were slaves. So right now we're 28% of the population and 54% of the prison population. But in 1846, 100% of the black population was slaves, man. You got to think about that, man. What was coming out of those brothers and sisters, man? Listen, that was spiritual. That's all I'm gonna say. That was a spiritual event that took place in Montgomery, Alabama, man. You understand? Keep reading, Doc.
Come with concert. Warehouses used in the slave trade. Commerce Street was central to the operation of Montgomery slave trade.
Commerce Street was what?
Was central to operation of Montgomery slave trade.
Commerce Street was central to the operation of the Montgomery slave trade. And look, here's the riverfront. Here's the riverfront. Hold on. Here's the riverfront. Salakia. Here's the riverfront right here. And this is Commerce Street. And Commerce Street was central to the trade of slaves, man. Why? Because this is where they would dock them off at and march them over here. You understand? This entire area is blood soaked, man, in the history and the atrocities of chattel slavery, man. You understand? And not far from here, I don't see it on the map, is the Legacy Museum, where it's an entire museum dedicated to the history of slavery in Montgomery, Alabama. And that was only 0.2 of a mile from where this brawl occurred. You understand? Listen, man. Our oppressor is lucky that we're compassionate people.
Right.
Like what happened at the riverfront was not it was not a race war.
Right.
I mean that's what it is, and that's what's coming. But what it was self-defense.
Right.
That's what it was. It was a brother being assaulted for doing his job, which lets you know what? That our oppressor, these oppressors were some, it's what you want to call poor white trash, man.
Right.
These aren't the Donald Trumps and the Joe Bidens and the upper echelons of white society, man. They're at the bottom. But what does that tell you? That a poor white man still feels like he is, as the moon is from the earth above any black man of any social status in America. Right. You understand? Like who do you think, nigga? Who do you think you are to come tell me to move my boat?
Right.
Nigga, my great-great-grandfather had you on boats and chains and paraded you around Commerce Street and sold you on auction blocks, man, on the riverfront. Keep reading, not and stored your great-great-grandparents in warehouses less than 0.2 miles down the street. That's what you saw there. When you saw that man rush that brother, that's what you saw. That's the pride you saw, man. You understand? Because this, in their mind, you should be lodged in the warehouse. Because listen, I mean, how long ago was 1860, man? It's 2023 right now. That's less than 200 years ago. Keep reading, not.
Sir. Enslaved people were marched in chains up the street from the riverfront and railroad station to the slave auction site or to local slave depots.
They had slave depots a few blocks away from Commerce Street, man. You listen, you go to Office Depot, you go to Home Depot, what you see up in there? Wood, tools, all on shelves, right? They had slave depots. The way you see the items and whatever you need for to add on to your house in Home Depot or when you go to Office Depot, like whatever printers you need or whatever office supplies you need, that's how they had blacks and Hispanics and Native Indians lodged up in them slave depots, man. And probably had the women in one section, the men in one section, the young, the old, the children. Do you understand? Had it sectioned off like merchandise, man. This is the history of Montgomery, Alabama. Keep reading, now.
Sir. Warehouses were critical to the city's slave trade.
The what?
The warehouses were critical to the city's slave trade.
Critical. Go ahead.
Slave traders confined enslaved people in warehouses until they could be sold during slave auctions. At 122 Commerce Street was a very large warehouse owned by John Murphy, who provided support to slave traders in the city and built the Murphy House on Bibb Street.
The Murphy House, man. You understand? The Murphy House. And what's crazy is, you got these little silly movies like Jones. I think it's something called Jonestown with Matthew McConaughey or Jonestown, like where it's Freetown or something. You know what I mean? Trying to act like white people was help. Listen, man, tell this story. Tell the story of Commerce Street in Montgomery, Alabama, with the warehouses of so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man, being stored as slaves, man. You understand? Keep reading, Art.
Sir. The Commerce Street warehouse was used in the 1850s by slave traders like H.W. Farley, who advertised the sale of enslaved children.
Did what?
Who advertised the sale of enslaved children.
We want to talk about sex trafficking. The white man is an expert at child trafficking, man. He's been doing this, man. Listen, human trafficking began with the oppressor, with the white man. The white man is the original human trafficker, man. And we're reading it right here. Montgomery, Alabama. See, in Huntsville, Alabama, they got upset because the Space Command Center didn't go there. They was legislated to get the headquarters for Space Command. Space Command is what they're going to be using to so-called fight the incoming invasion of aliens. which we know there ain't no such thing as aliens.
Right.
It's just Black and Hispanic Native Indian angels on crafts that are coming with Christ to destroy America.
Right.
You understand? And to save his people, Christ's people, which are the 12 tribes of Israel, man. You understand? But they start to build the command center in Colorado, and Huntsville, Alabama had the contract for it, and Biden reneged on it. He reneged on it, man. You understand? Wouldn't that be something for the Space Command to be in Alabama, where it was legal, where it was illegal for a free Black man to live in the state? Wouldn't that be something, man? You understand? But you know they had to keep it in Colorado where weed is legal. Right. They want to be high when they see when they see Christ come back with the angels and launch the missiles, man. They don't want to experience that. You know what I'm saying? Sober. They want to have access to them cookie packs. You understand? Sorry, y'all. Keep reading.
Oh, come on, concern. H.W. Farley, who advertised the sale of enslaved children, such as a boy about 14, very likely and sprightly. The warehouse remained in the hands of owners involved in the slave trade until the end of the Civil War.
Until the end of the Civil War, man. It was owned by slave traders, man. Is there any more on the article?
Nah, sir.
That's the end of it?
Well, it just gives a location and different other time.
Okay, no sweat, man. Yeah, man, and hold on 1 second. Because let's see real quick. I want you to give me that scripture in Matthew. I got that. Go ahead.
It's the book of Matthew. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 2. And Jesus said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say to you, there should not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And as he set up, and as he set up the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us when shall these things be?
Right, the disciples are coming to Christ as he's telling them that, everything you see here in Jerusalem, man, ain't gonna look like this. And in a short period of time, everything that you see is gonna be destroyed. Christ is telling the disciples the future at the time when, before he's about to go and go through, the thing that saved all Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man, which is his death. All right, go ahead.
Saying, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming?
Right, so when is going to be the sign of your coming? Like when are you coming back? Because he came first to give us salvation. Meaning what? To restore our relationship with the Most High. He gave up his life, man, for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And that's why what those brothers and sisters did out there at the riverfront was so amazing, because they had the spirit of Christ, which was willing to give up their lives to protect the life of a brother.
Right.
Christ said, that what you do to the least of my brother, you've done unto me.
Right.
Christ and the angels saw what those brothers and sisters did at the riverfront, man. And trust me, it's been marked in the records.
Right.
You understand? In a time where the love of many is waxing cold, where Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are not showing love to each other, are not looking at each other as family, you had those brothers and sisters at Riverfront in the spirit of Christ, man, that saw that brother as family and went to the aid of their family, man. Right. That's the same spirit that Christ was in when he was before he went to go and suffer what he suffered, being lynched on a tree. They tried to lynch that brother, man. You understand? Now Christ got hung on a tree to save us. Them brothers and sisters in Riverfront, they all came to that brother's aid to save him. Right. And that's the spirit that Christ wants us to be in.
Right.
Keep reading, Knock.
End of the world.
And the what?
End of the world.
Right, because, see, the coming of Christ is going to be at the end of the world. You understand? It's going to be at the end of the world, man. And that's where we're at. And that's what he's talking about. What's the signs of the end? Well, we're going to see right here. Keep reading.
Verse 4. And Jesus answered and said to them, take heed that no man deceive you.
So you gotta make sure that you don't let nobody deceive you about this particular subject and topic. The sign of Christ when he's coming and the end of this world. But When it talks about the end of the world, is that talking about that the earth is gonna be destroyed and blow up or anything like that? What's it talking about? Brother, go ahead and get me that second Ezra 6 and 9. What's the end of the world? Let's get that before we continue on with the scripture, man, because Christ is talking about some heavy things right now. This is why brotherhood is so important, man, because you got to know why it's so important to love your brother and to have the same love that Christ had for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man, for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. You got to understand why that's important. Go ahead and bring that out, all right? This is second Ezra, chapter 6, verse 9.
Sir. This is the book of second Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world.
What?
For Esau is the end of the world.
So who is Esau? Esau is the so-called white man, man. You understand? He's the oppressor. He's the so-called white man, or what you want to call the Caucasian, man. You understand? The end of the world is Esau. So when the disciples are asking Christ, what is the sign of thy coming? Because why are they saying, what is the sign of your coming? Like, how are we going to know you're coming back? Because the sign of his coming means what? The end of the world. Christ returning is the end of the rulership of the so-called white man, man.
Right.
And he's about to tell the disciples what to look for to know when that's on the horizon. Keep reading.
Take heed that no man deceive you.
Uh-huh.
For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many.
Oh, you know about that on Clubhouse. You got many of your brothers calling themselves Jesus and Yeshua and Christ and everything else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got other nationalities and ethnicities who are not from the tribe of Judah, who are not black. You know what I'm saying? You got, Captain Pizarro just battled some people out there in the Philippines, man. I mean, now they got Filipinos in Israelite camps. I don't know what's going on. You understand? Where they feel like they represent Christ, man. Christ came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel, man. And that's so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, and nobody else. Nobody else, man. All right. Keep reading.
Verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of war.
Ain't that what's going on right now? Russia and China's warships just left from the waters in Alaska, from international waters, man. And when they first started moving into those waters, America sent their nuclear warships and what have you out there, their military out there to meet them. Now, Russia and China said they were just doing drills, but drills for what? The scriptures say, the book of Revelation say, the third woe cometh quickly.
Right.
But guess what else it said? Christ said, I cometh quickly. Why? Because what is the third woe? The third woe is the Third World War. Commander General Yohana just gave a lecture on the Third World War, and are you ready for it in Chicago at the at the Midwest Fire Weekend? A powerful lecture, man. You understand? Discussing the third woe. The first woe and the second woe is already passed. What is that? World War I and World War II. Now the third woe comes quickly. And what is woe, man? It's bitter sorrow. It's destruction. You understand? And this is going to be like nothing that you've seen before, man. But as the scriptures say, the first woe and the second woe have passed, and behold, the third woe comes quickly. The third world's war is coming quickly. It's coming faster than you think. And guess who's coming with it? Christ, man. That's why Christ said, behold, I come quick. Make sure your garments are clean, lest you be found naked. What does that mean? Your garments be clean, and lest you be found naked. Go ahead, Art.
It means be blameless.
Man, get that brother a hand. That's exactly what it means, man. To be blameless, man. You don't want to go to you don't want to go to a holy convocation. You know what I'm saying? With a stained garment.
Right.
What does that mean, man? The first thing it means is that you got to be covered in brotherhood, man.
Right.
You got to be covered in the love for your brother, man. Meaning what? That you would lay down your life for your brother, man. That you would do whatever, that you would exchange your life for the life of your brother, man. To preserve the life of your brother, man. And the Most High is pouring His Spirit out on our people, and that's what you saw out there, man. And I pray that Spirit multiply and spread, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. And we take this and we build on it. You understand? Keep reading, Art.
I'm gonna come. See that ye be not troubled, For all these things must come to pass.
Yeah, man, don't be trouble about it. You know what I mean? The wars and rumors of wars, right? Because all these things must come to pass, right? All these rumors in the third world war, it gotta come, it gotta happen. Why? Because if it doesn't happen, Christ can't come. And if Christ doesn't come, then we don't see the end of the world. You understand? See what you saw up there on the riverfront is you saw our oppressor feeling like he wants to maintain the order that exists right now, which is what it's an order of white supremacy. White supremacy is the law of the world right now, man. You understand? But with the coming of Christ, the coming of a black man from the tribe of Judah, you understand? The king, our king, you understand? The ruler of the earth, man, under the Most High, you understand? It's gonna be a new heaven and a new earth. And what does that mean? That a new heaven means that it's gonna be new people on top. And the people that are on top are gonna be the new earth, the ones that are on the bottom, man. You understand? He's coming to change the order of things. He's gonna flip the order around. You know what I mean? Because right now, the poor, the meek, those that are oppressed and that suffer, you know what I'm saying? We're on the earth, we're on the bottom. And our oppressors are in heaven ruling over us, man. But he came to make a new heaven and a new earth. Because why? The first heaven and the old heaven and the old earth is gonna pass away. What Pac said, you know, living in this white man's world, that ain't gonna be the songs you making no more. You ain't gonna hear that no more. That's gonna be an old memory. You talking about they talking about making holograms of Pac. The idea of this being a white man's world is gonna be a hologram. You know what I mean? That never gets brought up again. You know what I'm saying? Right. Keep reading, Knock.
But the end is not yet.
The end is not yet, right? When you're hearing these rumors and you're seeing the rumblings of warfare, the end ain't yet. What's going to signify the end? Keep going.
Verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation.
What?
For nation shall rise against nation.
What that means right there is that word ethos. That means for ethnicity is going to rise against ethnicity. What that translates into is race wars, man. And what you saw in Montgomery, Alabama, is the beginning of it. And I'm gonna tell you, it's not over with yet. This is the beginning of what Christ said, and these are the signs of His coming and the end of the rulership of our oppressor, man, the so-called white man. You understand? The Edomites. Go ahead, Art.
Slack, sir, if I could. So you're saying so heavy. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, what's going on, a lot of black people seeing that you can't stand up against the oppressor. Just like in slavery. We didn't think we could run away until Henry Tubman gave us the guide to run away.
Right.
Gave us the strength to run away.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What's going on? So spiritual, like you've been saying this whole time, sir. You know what I'm saying? That we know that we can grow along and say these people are beneath us. We can fight back towards these people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We don't have to sit there and get beat up and killed all day. And I hope like it's like to.
No, go ahead. I can keep going. Keep going.
You know what I'm saying? And I hope that this spirit continue, like you said, sir. It's like
Most High, give them that, man. And to add on to your point, priest, that the way we do that is together. You understand? Like that brother had the courage. It wasn't like it took about 4 or 5 of them to bring that brother down, the security guard that was doing his job at the riverfront. It took like about 3 or 4 of them crackers, Salagia, them oppressors, right, to try to get him down. And it wasn't like he lacked heart. Right. He threw that head up and did the listen, man. When a brother's in the mind to take the time to throw the head up in the air, like, come on, man. He was no coward. You understand? And what was beautiful was that him having the courage to do what you said and stand up against it, that everybody else saw that and was like, nah, not today. We ain't letting this one ride today. You understand? And they did it together. And that's what made it beautiful. But it's not over though. Y'all tell me a time before where it's because like Commander General Yohana and General Muhammad said, this was an act of self-defense against violent criminals. You understand? Because they were breaking the laws that were in place at the riverfront. These were criminals, business-owning criminals. You understand? Because the people that rule over us are criminals. You have to understand that. We're dealing with, the scriptures say that the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. We're ruled by criminals. You understand? Who use the force of the law to oppress God's chosen people. All right? But now think about this. When have you seen a brawl between blacks, right? And our oppressors, and the oppressors end up in handcuffs? You best believe that they're gonna try to get their lick back.
Right.
And I don't just mean in Alabama. Now, with all the history that we just read in Alabama about the slave warehouses and depots and how they paraded slaves in chains all up Commerce Street. You understand? And shout out to Officer Taziad out there in Mobile, Alabama, you know what I'm saying, and ISUPK, Alabama, out there warned unoccasionally on behalf of the Most High in Christ. You understand? Raising up our people in Alabama, man, to bring that spirit of, you know what I'm saying, of free men to that state, man. Shout out to Officer Taziad of 5,000 out there, man, and all the brothers. So like I think his brother. You know, I ain't gonna mess up the brother's name, but all the men up under him who are out there laboring to raise up Alabama, to raise the dead in Alabama, man, because they need the knowledge of the truth.
Right.
Listen, the ISUPK is needed in every state in America and every country across the world for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man, to give them this spirit. And see, the heavy part about it is, in Revelations 12, we ain't got to go to my paraphrase, but it says that the woman was trying to give birth. And that's what Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are trying to do right now. We're trying to give birth to the spirit of Christ, which is what? The love of Christ. You understand? Give me John 15. I want to say it's verse 8. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get to that in a second. You know what I mean? Because John, the book of John chapter 15 and verse 11, Salaki, but we're gonna get to that in a second, right? But as we're trying to give birth to this new awareness of loving each other and standing by each other and supporting each other, you know what I'm saying? Not robbing each other and killing each other, man, but having love towards one another, man. You understand? Following, keeping God's commandments, learning the truth about our heritage and our culture, and putting on that culture. You know what I mean? Putting on our garments, man. Covering ourselves in the spirit of the Most High, man. What is our enemies trying to do? It says the dragon waited as she was ready to give birth to eat the child. As you're trying to stop smoking weed and stop making whores of our women and stop putting our women on, you know, sisters, you're trying to get off the stripper pole and shut down your OnlyFans and cover your head up and get in class and learn what it means to be a virtuous daughter of Zion. You understand? And come into the knowledge of who you are. You know what I mean? What is our oppressor trying to do, man? They're trying to feed on our flesh, man, to destroy us, man, while we change our lives. And this is how you know that we're at the end. We're at the end, man. Because as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are coming into the knowledge of who they are and who their power is, our oppressor is trying to take us out. Because why? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians becoming something new means what? It's the end for them. It's the end of their world. It's the end of their society. It's the end of their rulership and oppression over us, man. And that should give us what? Listen, when you saw the video at the riverfront, when you saw what happened, I want each of y'all to tell me, how did it make you feel? If you in the chat, tell me how it made you feel when you saw what happened when you saw what happened over there at Montgomery, Alabama, the riverfront. Put it in the chat, YouTube, Facebook. What did you feel when you saw it? I know what I felt. We about to read it right now in a second. But what did you feel? Go ahead.
Oh, come on. It was a sense of relief when I saw it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
relief.
A sense of like joy, relief, like
what word you say?
Joy.
Okay.
So we finally starting to get it. Like, let's put all these other, you know what I'm saying, all these differences aside, man, and come together and beat up for each other. So like you said.
He said something heavy, man. We're gonna have to get into that. Go ahead. She said she thought it was glorious. It was glorious, sis. It was glorious to see our people. You know, listen, we see videos of us stomping each other out all the time. Right. That ain't nothing to see somebody getting jumped. That's regular business in our environment. You understand? But to see us do it for the love and the sake of another brother, that's the spirit of the Most High. when the scriptures say that Exodus 15:3, that the Lord is a man of war, you understand? The Lord is his name. That's the spirit. That's the spirit of the Most High right there. Because guess who saw that spirit of war? The Egyptians saw that, man. He said that about himself when he was delivering Moses and the children of Israel from slavery under the hands of Pharaoh and the Egyptians, man. You understand? He did it on behalf of his people. It said he heard the cry of the children of Israel because of the sore oppression, how hard the oppression was, the slavery and the bondage. You understand? And it said that the Lord heard their cry and had respect unto them. The brothers and sisters at Riverfront have respect unto that brother's cry. We threw that at him.
Right.
I need help. Y'all, I'm gonna do what I do.
Right.
But I need some help.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And brothers, and look, they responded to that cry, man. And they came lock and step, man. And it was a beautiful thing to behold, man. A beautiful thing to behold. What y'all holding for me? What scripture y'all holding? Oh, you holding John 15 for me, right? We're still in Matthew, right?
Yeah, come so you next.
Oh, so yeah. So go ahead, my bad, man.
You know how it made me feel. I ain't gonna lie to you, sir. I got emotional.
Man,
You know what I'm saying? Especially when that young brother, thing like 16, they got in that water to swim.
Name and what's heavy? His name Aaron.
Really?
They ain't get his last name, but you know he's out. He's out.
Yeah.
Hey man, shout out to Officer Nakashawan in Atlanta. He did an excellent breakdown. Y'all need to go check out Officer Nakashawan, ISUPK Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Right now we're under Captain Rataziah, you know what I mean? But camp leader Officer Yarman, man. But Officer Nakashawan did an excellent reel, you know what I mean, saying how, because everybody was joking because he hopped in the whole thing is that black people don't like to swim. We don't like the water, right? After coming over here on slave ships 9,000 miles over the Atlantic, you know what I mean, the transatlantic slave trade, man, they throwing us in water. We drowning with stones and chains, shackles on our feet to the bottom of the ocean, which is a horrible death. You watching your wife, your kids get thrown over in chains, and you can't do nothing to save them. You going down to the darkness of the water. You know, you may get ate by a shark. You may just have to go down to the bottom of the ocean and die. That's a horrible way to die, man. So yeah, a lot of people don't like water. It don't mean we can't swim. We just don't like the water because why? We come back. You know what I'm saying? We probably was excellent swimmers.
Right.
But you go through that getting thrown off of a slave ship, chained to 30 people, screaming and women and children and men screaming, getting brought down to the bottom of the ocean. That's a horrible death. Listen, Christ said if you hurt one of my little ones, it'd be better if a millstone was tied around your neck and you were thrown into the ocean. So the concept of that death was already in the mind of Christ. And the white man did that to us. Why? Because he had two, they didn't have enough food to feed everybody on a slave ship. Or maybe your brother had the heart to start a rebellion. And he went to his whole family and everybody involved and chained them up and took a stone and threw them over the ocean. So the joke is we can't swim and we don't like water. But guess what a black man did for the love of his brother, man? He loved that water, man. Right. And swam right to that dock and got up out that water and did the rock bottom and slammed that cracker, man. Right. You know what I'm saying? Get that brother a hand. Like Officer Nakashawan said, man, he's Ak for man. You understand? Ak meaning brother. He was a great brother to his to that brother.
That's right.
And hop in that water. You know what I'm saying? Into that Mayim. You know what I'm saying? To that Mayim, he up in that Mayim. Ak Mayim. You know what I'm saying? The brother in the water, man. You dig what I'm saying? Shout out to Aaron, man, for that, man. You know what I'm saying? Keep reading. Now, is any more on that Matthew 24? Nation against nation, right?
Come, sir.
Yeah, keep reading.
And kingdoms against kingdoms.
Yeah, that's right. That's what we see going on right now. All the BRICS alliances, Saudi Arabia, Russia, South Africa is shouting out Putin in their speeches. You know what I'm saying? How they Africa lined up with Putin. Putin just cut off like $30 billion of debt from Africa and then loaned them $200 billion more. You understand? For development in Africa. It's all slavery to keep them in check. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But they're linking up economically. Why? To form an alliance against the Great Horde, against Babylon the Great Horde, which is America, man. So it's kingdom versus kingdom. You dig what I'm saying? Keep reading.
and there shall be famine and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places.
Right. These are all the indications of the coming of Christ, the coming of Yahushua HaMashiach, man. A black man from the tribe of Judah that gave his life up, man. You know what I mean? For so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And the question I asked the brothers and I asked everybody in the chat was how did it make you feel when you saw those brothers come to the aid of that brother who was a security guard at the riverfront? What did you feel? Officer Abiar said he felt joy. Now, give me John 15, man, 11. You dig what I'm saying? Because Christ is about to say something. And see, that's what I felt. I felt joy when I saw that. I don't agree with you. Everybody who saw that, who was a so-called black and Hispanic Native Indian, they felt the same feeling. Right. Why? Because us coming together to aid another brother, that's the spirit of Christ. That's the spirit of the Lord. The scriptures say the joy of the Lord is your strength, man. You know what I mean? It should give you joy to see us coming together on behalf of another brother or sister, man. Right. To come to their aid, man. That's the spirit of Christ. That's what's trying to be birthed in the earth right now, man. You dig what I'm saying? Go ahead and read that, all right?
John Concert, this is the book of John, chapter 15 and verse 11. These things have I spoken unto you, that my joy might remain in you.
Listen, see, they didn't understand why Christ had joy going to his death. You know what I'm saying? Listen, Christ had haters all over the place. The Sadducees, the Pharisees, the scribes, you know what I'm saying? The religious leaders of that time was hating on Christ, man. And all Christ was doing was healing the people, feeding the people, teaching the people, man. You understand? He saw people that scattered sheep and had compassion on them, and he taught them, man, the truth. And he was getting hated on, man, lied on. But he had joy. Why? Because he knew the sacrifice that he was making was for the sake of his brother. So he said, the joy I got in me, I want you to have that joy too. The same joy that you felt when you saw them brothers at Riverfront and them sisters going to help that brother, he wants that joy to be inside of you. Keep reading.
Son of a concert. And that your joy might be full.
That it might be what?
That it might be full.
What does that mean? Because listen, we had joy when we saw it, but our joy ain't full. Why? Because what? We want to see it remain, man. We want to see that. We want to see that every single day. Like Commander General Yohana said, man, if we came together in that spirit and we said, you know what, we're not letting our sisters do OnlyFans anymore. We shutting down the strip clubs, it would stop. We're not selling drugs in our community anymore to each other. It would stop. You understand? We're not letting the police murder us and kill innocent unarmed black men and unarmed black sisters like what's the sister's name, man, who got shot in the house, man? Breonna Taylor. Right. Or the sister in Texas who got killed in the cell, Sandra Bland. Right? We're not going to tolerate that no more, man. It would stop. Why? Because we would do what Zephaniah 2:1 says. Right. We would be gathered together as a nation, not desired by our enemies, but desired of each other, man. You understand? That's why what happened out there was so powerful. Because we saw a brother in need, we saw a brother that was in duress and in distress and outnumbered. And look, man, when we come together, we can't be stopped. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? We can't be stopped. Go ahead, Art.
Right, sir. I saw a TikTok today, and his brother said he lived next door to this other brother for a year. And every time they see each other, they need money. You know what I'm saying? They need money each other every time. But he said what happened the other day in Montgomery, Alabama, you know what I'm saying? After that, when they came outside, they was like, hey man, hey, you want to come over for a drink? Man,
and listen, man, I'm telling you, man, this is the spirit of the Most High, man. It's the spirit of Christ, because we at the end. And the scriptures say that every man is going to go to his own people, to his own land. And this ain't over with yet. We got to understand that it's not over with yet. We're going to see more of this. But if we're together, the Lord's going to be with us. If we're together in the right spirit, like you said, putting all of our differences aside and coming in the love of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man, loving our people, man, the Lord going to be with us. And then, what can they do at that point? Judgment is already set. America is already set to be destroyed by the Most High, man. Right. You know what I mean? Listen, the sins and the cry of Babylon has reached heaven. And that cup of the wine of wrath it's almost full. And it's time for them to drink up. It's time for them to go ahead and go to the bar and finish that drink, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But what it's time for us to do is, it's time for us to come together, man, and break bread and break the bread of brotherhood, man. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. Keep reading that John 15.
Come with concept. Verse 12. This is my commandment, that ye love one another as I have loved you.
So, like, go ahead and start at the top again. Read that joy again, man.
Come with concept.
Yeah.
These things have I spoken unto you, that my joy might remain in you.
That his joy might remain in us. See, Christ already knew what it was. Christ was locked in. He was locked in, laser focused in on what mattered. And the only thing that mattered was loving our people and laying down his life for our people. And he wanted us to have that same strength, that same joy, man. The joy that you felt watching them brothers come and say that, brother, that spirit needs to remain in us, man.
Right.
And that's why he said, I've spoken these things unto you, that my joy, the joy that I get from helping my people, going to the lost sheep, it might remain inside of you. That's brotherhood, man. Brotherhood is the foundation of the kingdom. Keep reading, now.
Oh, God, sir. This is my commandment, and that your joy might be full.
That your joy might be full. Your strength, your joy might be full, man. Because why? You listen, man. You can't be half empty with this thing, man. You gotta put it all on the table, all on the line. That your joy might be full. You gotta love your brothers and sisters when you don't want to, and when you do want to. You understand? That was a beautiful thing. But that's why that Matthew 18:15 is in place, man.
Right.
That if your brother or sister offends you, that you go to he and he alone, or she and she alone, man.
Right.
And get counsel and gain your brother. Because why? The Lord wants to put us back on top. But we can't operate like our oppressors do. Our oppressors don't listen, they stand by each other, but they don't love each other, man. You know what I mean? They listen, the love of the oppressor is having something to hold over you. That's why in the music industry or in Hollywood, they try to get you in a position to where you're doing something that's questionable and they can hold it over your head. And that's how, and they'll give you power in exchange for you losing your integrity. But Christ is offering you power in exchange for you loving your brother at the risk of you losing your own life. And I'm willing to do that, man. And that's how we were raised and taught in the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana, man. And that's the spirit that he operates in. And he raises all of his sons and daughters in that same spirit, man. Right. And the spirit of Christ, because that's who he's under. And Christ is under the Most High. And that's the spirit of the Most High, man. Right. Keep reading, now.
Wakanda, sir. This is my commandment, that ye love one another as I have loved you.
They are. See me again? Go ahead, I'm sorry. It's a lot.
This is my commandment, that ye love one another as I have loved you.
This is a commandment. Listen, it's not a suggestion. It's not an opinion. It's not a podcast discussion. You understand? It's a commandment. It's an order from our King that we love one another as Christ loved us, man.
Right.
Well, how did Christ love us, man? You know what I'm saying? Hey, Salaki, I need oh no, yeah. I mean, either way. Nah, yeah. However you see fit, I trust you. You know what I mean? Let me find this real fast, man, because yeah, man. Let me find this real quick because I want you to hold that out and we're about to go to this other scripture real quick. Give me 1 John chapter 3 and verse 13. We're gonna go through this whole scripture, and then we're gonna get back to that John 15 because we gotta know how Christ loved us, man. You understand? Because he's saying love each other the way I've loved you. And we ultimately know what Christ did. He showed his love. His love wasn't in word, it was in deed.
Right.
You understand? It was in his actions, man. Because you see, a lot of times, man, people don't talk love. You know, everybody talking now. It's TikTok talking, Instagram talking, right. Facebook talking. Everybody got a whole bunch of talk going on, man. You know what I mean? You know, it's like this whole internet thing is like a hologram, man. Everybody's showing this, showing what they got, talking this, that, and the third. But what we saw at the riverfront, that's undeniable. That it was love. And see, love is the truth. And that's the only thing that's real. You know, people want to argue about is the earth flat or is the earth a ball? I don't give a damn about any of that.
Right.
But what I do care about is me loving my brothers and sisters, man. I care about the welfare and the condition of my people,
Right.
which is so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man. You understand? That's real. That's tangible. That's something that you can touch. You understand?
Right.
You got that out, that 1 John 3? Go ahead, man. Bring that out. We're going to get back to that John 15. Go ahead.
This is the book of 1 John, chapter 3, verse 18.
No, Saladia, verse 13.
Verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel not, my brother.
Right, he's saying marvel not, my brother. Meaning what? What does marvel not mean? It means don't be surprised.
Right.
Right? Marvel not. Like to marvel is to be like, wow, man. That's what it means to marvel. He's saying don't marvel. Go ahead.
We know, Flocky, if the world hate you.
If what?
If the world hate you.
Does that mean that the whole planet Earth hates you? No. It says marvel not. Don't be surprised if this society hates you. We shouldn't have been surprised at them white folks swinging on that brother at the riverfront. Why? Because in their mind, they're in heaven. You know what I'm saying? And we're on earth. We're at the bottom. Who are you to try to assert authority over me and tell me to move my boat for a boat full of niggas? We had y'all on chains and boats 150 years ago and was marching you down Commerce Street in Montgomery, Alabama from the riverfront and had you in slave warehouses, man. And now you over here trying to tell me how to move my boat? Nigga, we had you on boats in chains. Marvel not, my brethren, that the world hates you. Don't be surprised at that. Keep reading.
We know that we have passed from death into life.
We know that we have passed from death into life. We have passed from the curses and the punishments into life. Why? Coming into the knowledge of who we are as Israelites and who our power is, the Most High power under Christ, man. And keeping His laws, statutes, and commandments, and having brotherhood, man. We know that we passed from death to life. Keep reading.
Because we love the brethren.
Because we what?
Love the brethren.
Listen, man, in Salakia. Of course, we got to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, man. But the Pharisees kept the law supposedly and knew the law. But the only indication that you pass from death to life is what? That you love the brethren. And that's what we saw out there at the riverfront, man. We saw love for the brethren, man. Right. And like the priests have been saying in here, we got to keep that going. And the ISUPK, the Commander General Yohana, is bringing the Spirit of Christ in the earth, man. Right. We're gonna make sure that baby comes to full term. You understand? That child, that Spirit of Christ, that is going to be born and be safe. Right. Because why? The kingdom of God is within you. That power is inside of you, and you maintaining love for your brother, man. And like that priest just brought out that beautiful story where he said on TikTok, the brother said he was coming out his door every day, mean mugging his brother, his neighbor. Neighbor don't mean the person that live next to you. Neighbor means the children of your people. Right. See, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man, we get into problems and conflict because we don't see each other as family. Right. If we saw each other as family, then we would deal with each other differently. And I say, Barakatah Yahweh Yahweh Shah. I thank the Most High, man, for what happened. You know what I'm saying, at Riverfront, Montgomery, Alabama, man, because it's how you say, it's a spark. It's like the little dominoes you hit that first domino, and the other dominoes fall. It's dominoes falling, man, for us to gather ourselves back together, man. Right. Because see, the thing is, the heathens, the beasts of the field, they've already understood and gathered themselves together. They got a Chinatown, a Greek town, you know what I'm saying, a Jew town, the so-called fake Jews, the tribe of Amalek. The Khazars, they had their community. They've been operating in racism. We're the only ones that have been that bought into the idea of diversity. Right. And that word diversity in the Latin is diversitas, which means to turn aside. We've turned aside from the culture and the love that the Most High gave us and these laws, statutes, and commandments, man. And instead, we've handed it over for a foreign nation, man, to become citizens of a foreign nation. That always is that always gonna keep Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians at the bottom. Right. But the moment that we start to prefer each other and put each other first over these other nations and love each other as we love ourselves, man, listen, the kingdom is here. The kingdom is at hand. And Christ can come back and put things in order.
Right.
But first, listen, man, Christ ain't coming to build the kingdom. He's coming to rule over it. So who got to build it? We do. And how do we build it? With brotherhood. Keep reading, Knock.
He that loveth not his brother abideth in death.
You in death, man. You under the punishments. You in the curses, man. You know what I'm saying? Couldn't nothing stop us out there at the riverfront. Why? Because we came together, and we came together in love, man.
Right.
In love. Keep reading, Knock.
Whosoever hated his brother is a murderer.
Yeah, man. And we know who the murderer is. We know who the murderer is. The murderer is that thief that comes to steal, kill, and destroy, our oppressor.
Right.
He's the murderer. But and we've become murderers. Why? Because we learned up under him. But now we have a new teacher, man. Christ is our teacher, man. We have a new school and a new teacher, man. And where you should be at in class every day is in the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge, man. To learn to live, to learn to gain life, everlasting life, man. Go ahead, I'll keep reading.
And ye know that no murderer hath eternal life abiding in
No
him.
murder, man. If you listen, man, for whatever brother that was out there that said, nah, that ain't my business, bro, you a murderer too. Because why? Standing by while your brother is being assaulted and an attempted lynching, it's going to result in his death. Right. So you were complicit in his murder because you didn't put your life on the line to save his. Christ came and gave up his life for our sake. We had a warrant on our lives. Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, man. God was not working with us. Why? Because we had sold ourselves to our oppressor. We had sold ourselves to the heathens. And God wasn't working with us, man. We were whores. We was hoes. The Lord was married to us and we was hoes, man. You know what I'm saying? The Lord put it all on the line for us, gave us his loyalty, his protection, and we went out there and said, you know what, I'm good. I'm about to go ahead and rock with them real fast. I'm going to rock with their God. I'm going to go ahead and worship this stone. I'm going to worship this wood cross. And we chose Christianity and Islam and whatever other goddamn heathen religion that was out there instead of our power, man, the power of the nation of Israel, man. You know what I'm saying? Our rock, our foundation, man. We gave it up. We dishonored our father Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, man. We dishonored our forefathers, man. And traded in our power for the people that we're supposed to be ruling over. Right. The Lord was done with us, man. And Christ said, you know what? Because listen, without the Lord's protection, we victims. We open to get destroyed, man. You understand? We open for destruction, man. This is why you had Rosewood, Florida, why you had Black Wall Street, man. Because even though we gathered together and gathered our resources and our economic power and kept the black dollar circulating through our community, what we didn't have was the Lord's protection, man. We didn't have it. But in the ISUPK Killeen, Command General Yohana, now we have access to it because now we know who Christ is, who he died for, and what our job is, man, until he comes back. And it's to love each other. Keep reading, Knock.
And ye know that no murderer have eternal life abiding in him.
Right.
Hereby perceive we the love of God, because he laid down his life for us.
He laid down his life for us, right? He laid down his life for us, man. Read that again, Knock.
Come. Hereby perceive we love of God. We the love of God.
Hereby we perceive the love of God, right? This is how we can understand it, perceive it, and understand it. Keep reading.
Because he laid down his life for us.
He laid down his life for us. I don't know if that brother Aaron, Aquaman, I don't know if he knew that he could swim or not, but he put himself into that river, man, and risked his life to save the life of that brother that was on that dock. Go ahead.
And we ought to lay down our lives for the brethren.
We ought to do what?
Lay down our lives for the brethren.
That's why Christ, even though his eyes is bloodshot, ready for war, The angels is ready to move at Christ's command, and Christ is ready to move at the Most High's command and destroy America and destroy the powers of this world. When they saw that over there at Riverfront, the angels was rejoicing with the Most High with Christ, man.
Right.
Because they saw the love that Christ had. They saw that in our people. That's why we gotta keep that candle lit. We gotta keep that zeal lit. We gotta keep that thing going, man. We can't let another Eric Gardner take place. We can't let another George Floyd take place. We can't let another the brother that was on the train in Subway. We can't let that happen, man. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, if we see any of our people in trouble, we got to lay our life down, man, on sight. Because that's what Christ did. And hereby we perceive the love of God, man. All right. You understand? Any more on that? Go ahead.
But so have this world's good.
No. Go ahead and drop that. Go back to that John 15, all right?
Sir. This is the book of John in chapter 15 and verse 13. Greater love has no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends.
There's no greater love. This is what Christ, this is what our King is saying. Our King who gave up his life to save Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man, to put us back in good standing with the Most High. Listen, man, it's no greater love. What them brothers and sisters did at the riverfront is no greater love than to risk your life for the life of your brother, man. To lay down your life for a friend. And they may not even have known that security guard. They may not even know him personally, but guess what? They saw him as family.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They regarded him as a friend. And that's what we got to do as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man. We have to see each other as friends. Go ahead, Doc.
Hey, sir, Officer Brock said something wrong with the mic. Said,
I mean, have y'all checked it yourselves? Hey, well, no. Can y'all hear it on the phone? Then that's all right. You know what I mean? If y'all can hear it, if you play on your phone, you can hear me. Clear? And then, you know, we have to get to that later. Man. Hold on, man. That's my children gonna keep blowing me up till I let them know. Salaki, y'all. My kids gonna blow this phone up till I tell them I'm in class. So, 1 second. We'll deal with that after the fact, man. Right now. All right, Salakia. Go ahead. Finish reading that John 15.
Sir, verse 14. Ye are my friends if ye do whatsoever I command you.
See, listen, man. He's saying that it's no greater love than a man who would lay down his life for his friend. And Christ is saying Christ is our King. The scriptures say that Christ is the head of man, and man is the head of the woman. So you got to think, and the Most High is the head of Christ. So that's Christ saying the Most High is above him, and as far as the Most High is above Christ is how high Christ is above us the men, and also how high the man is above the woman. That's the distance, right? But Christ is saying, you're my friend if you do those things which I command you. If you follow orders, then I don't just look at you, you know what I'm saying, as my servant. I look at you as my friend. This is what Christ is saying, our King. Read again,
Colonel Wakan, sir. Greater love us like ye are my friends if ye do whatsoever I command you.
He's saying you're my friends if you follow my orders. Go ahead.
Colonel Wakan. Henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth.
Listen, man, the servant don't know what the Lord doeth, which means is this: the Lord will give a servant an order. Hey, go do this. He don't know the reason why he getting the order. Even on your job, they might tell you, hey, go do this or go do that. You don't know why they're telling you, but you're just gonna do it. Why? Because that's your employer. You're the employee. Christ is saying, yo, love your brother. And if you follow my commandment, then you're not just my servant, you're my friend.
Right.
And because the servant don't know why the master gives him that order. But the Lord is he's telling us why. He's showing us why he's saying to love each other, man. Keep reading.
Come. But I have called you friends, for all things that I heard of my Father, I have made known to you.
He's made it known to us, man. Give me Isaiah 14 and 1. Y'all go ahead and grab that, man. Isaiah 14 and 1. Because Christ is making it known why he's telling us to have this brotherhood. Why it's so critical and important for us to band together as a nation, not desiring to love each other. Because why? It's the end of this world. You understand? And I didn't let Officer Abiar read the rest of that 2nd Ezra 6 and 9, but it says, but Esau is the end of the world. But the other half of that scripture is, but Jacob is the beginning of that which follows. You understand? And the beginning of the kingdom of heaven, the rulership of so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians under Christ, you understand, is brotherhood. That's the foundation. You understand? Because as we gather ourselves together, guess what happens? Our oppressor's kingdom falls apart. All right. What y'all holding for me?
So like it's like Isaiah 14.
Yeah, go ahead and read that, all right? Because you gotta understand something. In Montgomery, Alabama, this was the Silicon Valley of slave trade in the entire nation. They had more slaves in Montgomery, Alabama than they had in Natchez, Mississippi, New Orleans, Louisiana, and Mobile, Alabama. And that river part or riverfront, that's where the slaves got dropped off at. Now they on there riding boats, you know, having fun and visiting the Legacy Museum, the Slave Museum, but are just not less than or 100 years ago, right? 100 or 150 years ago, we was in slavery.
Right.
We was in slavery. Your great-great-grandmother, great-great-grandfather, because even if you in New York, Detroit, Chicago, you know we made that migration from the South.
Right.
All of us the majority of us came from the South and moved up north, or we stayed in the South. So all of our roots are in the South, man. You understand? And because Montgomery was a slave depot, that means that we were branched off all throughout America. You understand? So a lot of us had our start there. Or in what's that in Virginia? Jamestown, Virginia.
Right.
You understand? The majority of us came out of these depot points, man. Our roots come from there. So what Christ is saying is, I'm not treating y'all like servants where you don't know why I'm telling you this. If you follow my commands and love each other, I'm explaining to you why I'm telling you this. Now read Isaiah 14 and 1.
Come on, sir. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob.
He gonna do what?
Will have mercy on Jacob.
He gonna have mercy on Jacob, man. He gonna have mercy on Jacob. What mercy? Salakia. Abban Zion. Baba Kashar, priest. Give me Luke 1 and 68. What's the mercy he gonna have on us, man? What's the mercy? Because see, right now, man, we somewhat generations removed from slavery, from Jim Crow, from the massacres and the lynchings. We some generations removed, and we think because we have technology now that what happened to us and what took place with us, it's like we don't necessarily feel it in the same way. But the Lord remembers, and he requires that which is past. You might have forgot. You ain't forget 9/11. You ain't forget Pearl Harbor, but you forgot the massacres and the atrocities that happened to your people. But the Lord hasn't forgot, and he gonna have mercy on us, man. And what is this mercy that he's gonna show us? Read that out.
It's the book of Luke, chapter 1, verse 68.
Uh-huh.
Blessed be the God of Israel,
right?
For he has visited and redeemed his people.
He has visited and redeemed his people. Go ahead.
And have raised up and of salvation.
A horn of salvation. A horn represents power. That's why when you see like goats or rams, the males have horns because that represents power and authority. He's raised up a power and an authority to give us salvation. What is salvation? We're about to see right now. Go ahead.
For us in the house of his servant David.
Right. Go ahead.
And as he spent of his holy prophets.
Right. So the Lord raised up a horn of salvation in the house of David, meaning David came out of the tribe of Judah, and David was chosen to be king and to rule over Israel. So the throne of authority is the throne of David. That's the kingdom that the Most High established to be the ruling seat. You understand? The ruling tribe over the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Go ahead.
which have been since the world began,
Right.
that we should be saved from our enemies.
That we should be what?
Saved from our enemies.
No, saved from invisible demons.
Saved from our enemies.
Saved from our enemies. Keep reading.
And from the hands of all that.
From what?
And from the hands of all that.
That's right. When you on a Cracker Barrel, like that brother that was on Riverfront, you understand? When you getting pulled over by the police, his promise is to send us a leader to save us from our enemies and from the hands of our enemies, man. What's the hands of our enemies? It's the police force.
Right.
It's the armed IRS agents. Right. It's the drug task force. You understand? It's the CIA, the FBI. It's the U.S. Marshals. You know what I mean? It's the teeth of the beast that bites on the heel. You know what I'm saying? Of the woman, man. You understand? Which is what the poor of our people, man. Right. Those who are without protection. That's why the heel is a very sensitive part of the body. That's why if you ever ran track or played sports, you know what I mean? If you injured your heel, it's called the Achilles heel. Right? If you damaged the tendon in your heel, you couldn't move anymore. The body couldn't move. You were limited in movement. You understand? Because why? The foot is the foundation of movement. And that area, the heel, if the heel get hit, the whole body gonna fall. That's why they attack the poor of our people, man. Why? Because when we come together, we're the support and the strength of the entire body. Right. You understand? Keep reading, Doc.
To perform the mercy to our Father.
To do what?
To perform the mercy to our Father.
So when we read in Isaiah 14, he said, I'm gonna have mercy on Jacob. This is the mercy that he performed to our fathers. Who are our fathers? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, man. Right. This is the mercy that he's performing to save us from our enemies, man. To save us from the hands of our enemies, man. Like them brothers of the riverfront and sisters saved that brother from the hands of his enemies and their enemies, man. That's Christ's whole mission. That's the love of Christ. To get us out of sin, to what? To separate us from our oppressor and his culture and his world and his ways. To get us back the protection of the Most High, and then to do what? To save us out of the hands of our enemies, man. That's the whole point of this whole thing. Keep reading, Art.
And to remember his holy covenant.
Right.
The oath which he swore to our father Abraham.
The oath which he swore to our father Abraham, man. You know what I mean? And that's when the world began. When he promised Abraham to give us the land of Canaan, and that our seed would rule the earth, man. Rulership. That's what he promised Abraham. Rulership and rulership to his children. Isaac. You know what I'm saying? That seed that came through Isaac, the children of God. Not the children of the flesh, not Ishmael and the rest of the kids he had with the Torah. You understand? But the seed that he had with Isaac, man. Right. That we will become a company of nations. You understand? Because why? We will be scattered to the four corners of the earth, man. You understand? And we will be identified as different nations. That's what they call us now, right? Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, El Salvadorians, Guatemalans, Chileans, Argentinians, Belizeans, right? Panamanians. You understand? Haitians, Jamaicans, West Indians, Negroes. We're the children of God, but we become a company of nations. Cubans, you understand? But it's said in the land that we will be said that we were not the children of God, right? We will be called the sons of the living God, man. And that's what we are right now. And that's the spirit of Christ, man, to gather our people together, man, and to make us the sons of the power and the daughters of the power. All right. Go back to the Isaiah 14. All right? This is what Christ wants to show his friends, those that have chosen to love their brothers and sisters, man, as Christ loved us, which means him to give his life for us, man. He wants to perform this mercy that he promised to our fathers. Go ahead.
Sir. Isaiah 14:1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel,
right,
and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
The what?
And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
The strangers. Who are the strangers? The strangers are the other nations. Right. The Lord's going to have mercy on Jacob and choose Israel. What does that mean to choose Israel? The 144,000, that's going to be the ruling body, the government of Christ under the Most High, man. He's choosing us. He's choosing us to be this new heaven. And he's chosen the heathens to be this new earth, for them to be on the bottom and for us to be on top. But in order for us to achieve that, we got to love each other. We got to be willing to give up our lives for one another. We got to be willing to not sell our brother drugs because we want to have a good Christmas for our family, man. We got to give up Christmas and birthdays and all these stupid holidays, man, that have nothing to do with our culture, man. We have to give up our lives and become something new. You got to be born again. And in order for you to be born again, you have to die to who you were. You know what I'm saying? That brother, the story that the officer of Bonzayan told about that brother who's coming out, seeing that brother every day and giving him the cold stare and the mean mug, he died to himself. Why? Because he saw blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians put their brother's life before their own.
Right.
And what black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, what child of God, what child of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel can see that and not want to get down with that?
Right.
And pass from death to life. You understand? That should motivate you, man. That should light your candle. You dig what I'm saying? That should cause you to fill up the oil in your lamp. To cause you to endure, man, because we at the end. And the scriptures say that the love of many is going to wax cold. You know what I'm saying? But those that endure to the end, endure how? Endure with the brotherhood.
Right.
Those that endure to the end with brotherhood, man, they're going to be saved. They're going to be saved, man. Keep reading.
From concert. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place.
Right. Just like how they took us to Commerce Street, off the riverfront, off the slave boats, and took us to them slave depots, and took us to our place. We're going to do the same to them.
Right.
You understand? We're going to give them double.
Right.
What they did to us. They marched us up in chains down Commerce Street. We're going to march them in chains, man, in the streets of Jerusalem. Go ahead.
And the house of Israel
on streets of gold. And if the sun is anything like it is right now, good night. I know Christ gonna have some new garments for us. Right. Some light sun repellent garments. Some people looking glorious, but feeling cool as the other side of the pillow. Right. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah, we're gonna march them up the streets and march them back to the mother of us all in chains. Like how they marched us up Commerce Street in chains off the riverboat from 1846, 1833 to 1860. Over half of the population of Alabama was all slaves, man. You understand? Go ahead.
Concept. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them.
Oh, we gonna do what?
The house of Israel shall possess them.
We're gonna possess them like they possessed us. Like how they had, like what it say that they had a depot to sell children, child trafficking, selling child slaves. We're gonna possess you like how you possessed us, right. And possess your sweet children. Because that was sons and their father fighting out there. Them oppressors, them devils, that was the sons and their fathers. We're gonna possess your sons. We're gonna have you over here and your sons and daughters over here. And we're gonna be having auctions. It's gonna be like the New York Stock Exchange. Instead of Wall Street, it's gonna be Oppressor Street.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's gonna be called the Caucasus Street. We'll call it Caucasus Street, not Commerce Street.
Right.
The Commerce Caucus, the Caucus of the Commerce of the Caucasus. You understand? We're gonna have our own exchange.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Salakia. Gotta hit my daughter up too, because she gonna keep blowing my phone up too.
Like yourself, I mean.
Go ahead, Art.
Hey, yeah. So you know how everybody, that whole wave where brothers was getting on that Forex for a minute, right?
Right.
Trying to jump into the market. Instead of foreign exchange, we're gonna have oppressor exchange.
Oppressor exchange. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? The oppressor exchange. That's a fact.
And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids.
It said that we're gonna possess them, but possess them for what?
for servants and handmaids.
Servants and handmaids, man. You understand? Listen, that's why they want Donald Trump back in office, man. All them Trump supporters, them right-wing white nationalists that you saw jump that brother on Riverfront, you know what I'm saying? They want to make America great again. And America only became great off of the backs of so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man.
Right.
That's how America became great. Don't ever let them try to tell you that we are lazy people, that we don't put ourselves up on our bootstraps. They had 400 years of free labor, man. And guess what? We're gonna have 1,000. We're gonna have 1,000 years of free labor, man. And you're gonna build up our walls. The sons of the stranger, you're gonna build up our walls. You're gonna be out there in the fields, tending our flocks, you know what I'm saying? And amongst other things. You understand? You ain't gonna see no more Issachar out here on these construction sites with the white foreman. You're gonna see the oppressor out there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Laying tar on the rooftops, if we even use that. The Most High probably gonna have some other type of metals and metallics, you know what I'm saying, and building this city. You understand? It already said what the walls is gonna be made of: heavy gemstones and chrysolite and pearl and all manner of right. You know what I mean? And you better deal with them precious stones correctly.
Right.
Because our city gonna be it's gonna be glorious. Yeah. It ain't gonna be like DC. And it's crazy because Benjamin Banneker, a black man, designed DC.
Right.
He built DC. He laid the blueprints. But it's gonna be, but see, Christ is gonna be laying the blueprints for New Jerusalem, man. You understand? And y'all gonna build that for us. The same way how he was the engine of industry to build up your kingdom, to build up your heaven, you gonna be the engine and the fuel, you know what I'm saying, to build up our heaven. And that's in the scriptures, man. Keep reading, Knock.
From concert. And they shall take them captives whose captives
we just brought that history out. The link should be in did y'all post a link in Facebook? Yeah, man, that link should be up in Facebook, man. The article and YouTube. What was going on in Montgomery, Alabama? You know what I'm saying? The slave city of America. You couldn't be a free black, Hispanic, or Native Indian in Alabama. You can only live in that state as a slave. That's gonna be Jerusalem. If you listen, the scriptures say, in fact, give me that, Revelations 21. Give me that. You know what I'm saying? If you're not from the 12 tribes of Israel, you can't be in our city and be free.
Right.
We're gonna have the same policy that you had in Montgomery, Alabama. You understand? You see, Revelations 21, verse read verse 1 first, though.
Kind of a concert.
Yeah, 1 and 2.
Kind of a concert.
Uh-huh.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 21, and verse 1. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth.
This is what John's seeing, the Apostle John. He's saying, dang, I saw a new heaven and a new earth. I saw new rulers. And the people that was in rulership, I saw them on the bottom. That's what he's saying. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away.
That's what we read in 2nd Esdras. It was the end of Esau's world and the beginning of Jacob's world. Go ahead.
And there was no more sea.
No more sea, meaning the sea represents the many nations. The nations weren't in power no more. They didn't have the different areas of power. It's only one power. That's going to be with Christ in New Jerusalem, man. All right, in Israel. Go ahead.
And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven.
That's blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, the 1/3 and the 144,000 coming down on the chariots, man, back to take our land back. And Christ establishing us as the new society, the new power on the earth. Go ahead.
Preparing as a bride adorned for her husband.
Yeah, man, you want to make sure she look right. If she, we ain't talking about these new women, but they call them the non-traditionals. I understand. We ain't talking about the hoes and the OnlyFans models. We talking about a good wife.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like the priest said earlier, man, with clean garments, blameless.
Right.
You understand? The Lord want to make sure that when He show us off, we looking right, glorious. But what that mean? That we got love for each other, man. We keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. You know what I'm saying? We're not rebellious against our Lord, right? Keep reading.
Come, sir.
No, so like you drop down to 12.
Come, sir. Verse 12.
No, verse 10. So like, go ahead.
Verse 10. And he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain.
Right. Mountains represent government in the scriptures. You know what I mean? This great high mountain means that this is the only government on the earth. Go ahead.
And showed me that great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from God.
Right, descending out of heaven, I mean descending in rulership from the power, from the Most High. Black, Hispanics, and Native Indians under Christ, 144,000, we're coming to rule the earth in power. Once Christ lays down all the dominions and all the powers on the earth, all these foreign nations, we coming in power. Go ahead, keep reading.
Having the glory of God, and her light was like unto a stone most precious, even like a jasper stone, clear as crystal. Right.
It's meaning the judgment and the wisdom that's going to come out of our people is coming from Christ. It's going to be clear. Ain't going to be no confusion. You're not going to wonder about our legislation, our rules. It's going to be clear why what we're doing is being done. Because why? Christ is the one giving out the orders, and he's receiving them orders from the Most High. It's going to be, our glory is going to be clear as crystal. Why? Because we're backed by Christ. Go ahead.
And had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates.
Wall great and high. You know what I mean? Trump wanted to build his wall. We won't have a wall. You know what I'm saying? Christ's going to build a wall too. Christ likes your idea. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
And at the gates, 12 angels.
Right, it's going to be 12 bouncers, 12 security guards. Y'all wanted to attack that brother up there doing his job, trying to secure the riverfront. We're going to have security guards. The Lord will have security guards at the 12 gates.
Right.
Go ahead. What's that cracker name who made that song? Try that in a small town? Jason Aldean? Right. Hey, try that at the gates. Try that at the gates, man. You understand? Try to buck up at the gates like how you buck up on that security guard out at the riverfront and watch what happens. Go ahead, keep reading.
Sir. And the names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel.
No, that's going to be the names of the Africans and the Hamites.
We got the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel.
It's going to be the names of the Moabites, the Chinese, and the Japanese, and the Ammonites.
We got the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel.
No, it's going to be the names of the Edomites, the East Indians, man.
We got the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel.
No, man, listen. It got to be the names of the Edomites, the Caucasians, the so-called white man. You understand? Because why? He came to save everybody. Salvation is for all nations, even the proselytes, the converts. Read again.
Which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel.
Just like how you made a law that you couldn't be a free man living in Alabama. If you're not on a black, Hispanic, or Native Indian out of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, you're not going to be walking around free in the city of Jerusalem. In our kingdom, in our city, in our capital. It's going to be the same thing, but it's going to be double.
That's right.
You understand? And like I said, try that at the gates.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Jason Aldean.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All right. Let me see. Let me see what other scripture I got. All right. We're gonna close out with actually go ahead and go back to the Isaiah 14 and read me let's say start at verse 4. We're gonna end off with Zephaniah 2:1.
14:4, sir.
Yeah, what it start off with?
Let's start off with that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon.
Read that's 4 you said? It's B3.
You want to go ahead and just bring out? Or you want to hear it?
Read verse 3
Come on.
from the top.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow.
Yeah, man, we need a break. Give me a break.
Right.
You understand? Because I sure need one.
Right.
That was a song, man, from one of them shows. I don't remember. I think the show was called "Give Me a Break." But yeah, man, give me a break, man, because we as a people need one, man.
Right.
From this oppression, man. The Lord plans on giving us rest, man. Giving us rest. Why? And the only rest that we can get is the oppressor off of our neck.
Right.
You understand? Because he can't stand for us to have any type of relief.
Right.
General Muhammad brought that out about the co-payments with the healthcare system. That's only in place because they only put that in place because they didn't want us to have free healthcare. Right. America is the only nation on the earth that doesn't have universal healthcare, man, because they don't want blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to have that benefit. Right. That's why Christ said, "Marvel not if the world hates you." Don't marvel. Don't be surprised. That's why the Lord got to bring judgment to America. That's why he got to, make America the lake of fire, because they want to destroy us, man. They don't want to give us any rest. Read from the top.
Okay. And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy enemy. From thy sorrow.
Rest from sorrow, enemy is the same thing. Our sorrow comes from our oppressor. Right. That's why we have sorrow, because we can't listen. We trying to make ends meet. Right. You understand? That's where our sorrow come from. Our brothers and sisters locked up in prison. You know what I mean? That's where it come from. It come from our oppressor. Keep reading.
Come. Funny. And from thy fear, and from and from the hard bondage
from the hard bondage that he was made to serve. Listen, man, blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, you working 80 hours a week, that's hard bondage, man. And it was worse in the 1800s in Montgomery, Alabama, but we still in bondage, man. Right. That we was made to serve. And the Lord is trying to give us rest from that. And it starts with us showing brotherhood to each other. Keep reading.
Right. Verse 4. Then thou should take up this article against the king of Babylon.
Against the who?
The king of Babylon.
Now, listen, man, the scriptures call him the man of sin. Like, we call LeBron the man on the court. We call Michael Jordan the man on the court. Listen, the king of Babylon is the man. He's the man of sin. Right. You understand? It's our oppressor, who the earth was given into the hands of the wicked. That's who this king of Babylon is. It's the oppressor, man, because America is Babylon. You know what I'm saying? It's the cage of every foul bird and evil and unclean spirit, man. You know what I mean? It's a proverb being taken up against the king of Babylon. Go ahead.
And say, how have the oppressor seized?
How have the what?
The oppressor seized.
How has the oppressor ceased? Right? Go ahead.
The golden city seized.
The oppressor ceased, meaning how has the oppressor ceased? Right? We saw all 8 of those white folks, the women and the men, in handcuffs on that dock of the riverfront. After they attacked that brother, They got put in handcuffs. You know what I'm saying? The oppressor ceased. Now it's not over with yet, but but when Christ come back, the oppressor's going to cease and desist with all his wicked activities against blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, against the Lord's chosen people, man. Right. You know what I'm saying? When Christ returns, he ain't gonna be able to do anything that he's been doing. And we're going to be relieved. We're going to have rest, because blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, you can't have rest with the white man still being in power. You think going to Turks and Caicos or going to Cancun or going on some vacation is rest. That's not rest. This ain't our rest. Right. As soon as you get back from your flight, you still dealing with the same oppression, man. You still dealing with systemic racism. Right. You know what I'm saying? White supremacy. It ain't changed. Right. The only rest that we're going to receive is when Christ comes back, man. That's right. Because when Christ comes back, that's the end of Esau's world. Keep reading, Knock.
The Lord is the shadow of the wicked.
Broken the what? The staff of the wicked. Meaning, the staff is a representation of what a shepherd has. It's a symbol of authority, meaning that he's broken the authority of the wicked. They don't have the power to legislate homosexuality, this transsexual, gender nonsense. You know, legalizing abortion. That's their staff. That's their authority, because they're in power. Right. So right now they have the power to make lawlessness lawful. But the Lord's going to break that authority. Why? Because Christ is going to be in power. And who's going to be under Christ? The new leaders. The leaders who have been tried in righteousness, man, who have gone through that furnace, man. Because the scriptures say that what? That acceptable men are tried in the furnace of adversity.
Right.
Right? They're like gold. They've been proven. Because the leaders that we have now, they're, it's like the leaders that we had in the time of Christ. All they cared about was having their seat with Rome. Right. They didn't care about judging the people and bringing righteousness to the people and showing them a good example. Our problem is not economics. Our problem is not more education. Our problem is a lack of leadership.
Right.
Righteous leadership. But Commander General Yohana is raising up sons and daughters to what? To not be hypocrites,
right.
To not be cowards. You understand? But to be leaders in our households and to be leaders in our community and to live the things that we teach. And that's what Christ is looking for, man. That's the leadership that he wants to establish. And he's going to break the staff of the wicked, the authority of the wicked. Keep reading, now.
And the scepters of the rulers.
And the what?
And the scepters of the rulers.
And the scepters of the rulers. Meaning that these other little, like you see the leader of South Africa, the prime minister in China, the Saudis down there, and with the Arab Emirates and Dubai and the oil mongers, right? He's gonna break their power. Right now they out there stunting with the Bugatti and the Rolls Royce police vehicles and all that. You know what I'm saying? Just they have to throwing money, which makes no sense to me. Why are y'all imitating why is Ishmael imitating what Jacob do in unrighteousness with our women? And you over there, they got them covered, but they still throwing the money on. Good night, man. It's madness. But see, you're not gonna be able to imitate that because when the 144 in power, it's gonna be a kingdom of righteousness, man. We're not gonna allow our delicate and tender sisters to be represented in that whorish way ever again. You understand? They're gonna receive the honor that's due because they're gonna be under authority. Keep reading, Knock.
Come on. He who smote the people in wrath.
He who did what?
He smote. He who smote the people in wrath.
That's what they did on the riverfront. They smoked them crackers.
Right.
That's what smoke means. Smoke means to put hands on.
Right.
Hands and feet. He who smote the people in wrath. What does that mean? He who broke Freddie Gray's spleen and spine in the back of that police vehicle.
Right.
He who choked out Eric Gardner.
Right.
He who had the knee on the neck of George Floyd. He who shot Tamir Rice. He who killed Trayvon Martin.
Right.
You understand? He who shot Breonna Taylor. He who smoked the people in wrath. He who dropped bombs from Oppenheimer, who dropped bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Hydrogen bombs. He who smoked the people. He who put crack in Compton, crack in Watts, crack in Detroit. Put crack in Memphis, Tennessee. Who put guns in Chicago and crack in Chicago. He who smoked the people in wrath. Our oppressor. Read.
With a continual stroke.
With a continual stroke. You ever see a brother when he just he ain't stopping. It's just this throwing in blows.
Yeah.
It's a continual stroke. He don't let up. He don't let up.
Right.
He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. They're not trying to let us breathe, man. That's why they would lynch us and take photographs and have picnics and hang us from trees. They don't want us to survive what we're dealing with.
Right.
Keep reading.
He that ruled the nations in anger.
Who did what?
He that ruled the nations in anger.
Listen, every nation on earth, all the heathens know that the so-called white man ruled the nations in anger, man. You understand? I mean, listen, Osama bin Laden can tell you that. Muammar Gaddafi in Libya can tell you that. Saddam Hussein in Iraq can tell you that. The brother down there in in Grenada, What's my brother name, man?
Oh,
Noriega.
oh, like,
You know what I'm saying? Down there in Panama, he can tell you that. You know what I mean? They rule the nations in anger. You know what I'm saying? Fidel Castro, Che Guevara. I'm saying the brother that was over Venezuela, they hit him up with some type of cancer thing, and he died. He came to the United Nations. What's my brother name, man? What's that brother's name from Venezuela, man? He was the leader of Venezuela, the president. I can't think of his name, but he was trying to give free heat and he was trying to donate and pay the utilities of blacks and Hispanics in America to pay their heat bills. Good night. Can't think of his name, but he went to the UN when George Bush was in office. He was like, I can smell because George Bush had a speech at the UN. He came behind him and was like, I can smell the sulfur. He called him the devil. He called George Bush the devil that the Bible speaks of at the United Nations, man. It's Caesar something. Hey, type in the president of Venezuela that died from cancer. Type that in Google, man. I'm going to get his name and shout that brother out. You understand? He was trying to help blacks and Hispanics. And he was speaking against George Bush and that great dragon. And it was like, no, we ain't having that. And took that brother out. Why? Because Christ is the only one that can lead us and save us from the hand of our enemies. What's his name?
it's like it's Hugo Chavez.
Hugo Chavez, the water. Hugo Chavez, man. He stood at the United Nations after George Bush spoke and came up there and was like, I can smell the sulfur. No, not Caesar, sis. Caesar Chavez, he did that, what you call it, the labor movement for the Issachar, you know what I mean, to try to get fair wages for the brothers that was working the fields. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, picking the strawberries and the vegetables. He tried to get fair wages because, you know, the oppressor, he going to smote us with a continual stroke. You know what I mean? They want to be able to get their strawberries and blueberries and their peaches for pennies. And paying our Issacharite brothers and our Northern Kingdom brothers, you know what I'm saying? You know, paying them nothing. So we can get fruit, you know what I mean, by the bushels. And Cesar Chavez was fighting for their behalf in that labor movement. But Hugo Chavez was the president of Venezuela. And they try to compare him to Fidel Castro because he wasn't trying to rock with none of America's policies, man. America undermines the governments of all of our people, like where we have any power and authority. You dig what I'm saying? And but Hugo Chavez came to the United Nations. He had a speech, and he was like, "I can smell the sulfur and the brimstone." Right after, he was like, "The devil was up here talking." You know what I'm saying? He had to hear one of Commander General Yohana's classes, right? You know what I mean? Salaki, keep reading, Salaki.
Is persecuted and none hindered.
Read that part again from the top.
He who smote the people in wrath with a continuous stroke,
right?
He that ruled the nations in anger,
right,
is persecuted.
He is what?
Is persecuted.
Listen, man, when we come into our kingdom, when Christ gives us power and we're free from our sorrow and our bondage, which we in our heart bondage, which we was made to serve, when we come to rulership, that man who smote us with a continuous stroke, he's gonna be persecuted. We're gonna persecute him. Him and his children and his children's 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 children, children's 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 children are going to feel exactly what we felt. They're going to feel it. They're going to be persecuted, man, because they're criminals. The scripture said that they're born from the womb speaking lies. You understand? The wicked are estranged from the womb, and they be born speaking lies. They're going to be persecuted. They think right now, them oppressors down there in Alabama feel like getting handcuffed by black police officers is oppression. That ain't nothing. You got a whole lot more coming. You understand? And what does it say? And none hindereth. And nobody's going to assist you or help you. Nobody's going to come to your aid and try to stop us and say that what we're doing is unjust. Because what you're going to receive is justice. Justice. Why? Because blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, like how you saw out there in the riverfront in Montgomery, Alabama, we're going to have brotherhood, man, and we're going to be in rulership. And every nation that put a hand against us is going to get justice, man.
Right.
And the world is going to be put in order. Right now, it's hotter than goddamn Mercury right now. You understand? It's hotter than Mercury right now, man. Why? Because of climate change and the polar ice caps melting. Because they're doing fracking and trying to get oil reserves from under the earth and causing all type of carbon to go into the atmosphere, man. The sun burn up the earth, man. You dig what I'm saying? The oceans are rising right now. The oceans in Florida at the south coast is 90 degrees on average temperature, man. The coral reefs are being burnt up and the coral reefs are turning white. Do y'all know what the purpose of the coral reefs are? It's where the fish's apartment complexes. It's their high rises, right? But the purposes of the Lord is so wise, man. The purpose of coral reefs is to absorb the force of the waves. So when you have an earthquake or a storm from like the cold current and the hot current, which forms the hurricanes, like the category between category 1 and category 6 hurricanes, when those hurricanes, they form out there in the ocean and they come to shore, they come to land. Well, the waves that come as a result of that, the tidal waves, the coral reefs absorb the majority of that energy, and it reduces the impact of the waves that could hit the coastline. So now y'all know what happens with Florida. You have the hurricane season, the hurricane storms. They got to board their houses up and they have to evacuate. We've had some bad flooding to where houses were destroyed, cities were destroyed. The coral reefs are being destroyed, meaning it's like in Louisiana you had the what was it, the dam or whatever that was, the levees, and you had like the sandbags to stop the flooding. That's what the coral reefs are in the ocean, and they're being destroyed because the temperature of the ocean is burning them up. So now they're useless. Y'all listen. Commander Yohana at the Passover before last prayed at the beach at Cocoa Beach. Prayed to the Most High. Y'all listen. Let me tell you something, man. Wherever Commander Yohana touches ground and says a prayer to the Most High, you better be concerned.
Right.
And you better hope that Passover is going to be in New York and not Montgomery, Alabama, because if the ISUPK Killeen comes to Alabama, Montgomery, Alabama, the whole Passover, judgment is coming. You understand? Judgment is coming, and judgment is coming to America. But we about to see some things in Florida. You understand? Listen, I'm gonna go ahead and give me Zephaniah 2:1, and we're gonna go ahead and close out.
This is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2 and verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together. O nation not desired.
That's what we've been saying all class, man. Listen, man, we need to keep gathering ourselves together. That's what happened at the riverfront. They gathered together, man. No greater love is it than to gather together, knowing that we're a nation not desired. You understand? Go ahead.
Come. Before the decree went forth, before the day passed,
listen, before the decree bring forth. What's the decree that's going to bring forth? The Most High telling Christ is to go. It's a go. It's a green light. It's going to go through. You know what I'm saying? It's a go. It's a green light. Listen, when Christ gets the green light from the Most High, that's when the decree brings forth. It's a go. It's going to go through. Yeah, man. It's destruction and woe unto all you. You understand? Keep reading.
What kind, sir? Before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you.
Before the what?
Before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you.
The eyes of the Lord are upon the sinful kingdom. You know what I mean? And he got fierce anger. And he's holding off because he want to see more of what he saw at the riverfront in Montgomery, Alabama. He want to see more brotherhood, man. He want to see more of that love, man. More Aquaman. You know what I'm saying? And forget Aquaman, really, man. It's like on Black Panther. What's his name? Kukulkan. Right. You know what I mean? That brother with the wings on his feet, all through the ocean, a whole nation coming out the water in defense of their brethren and uniting. You understand what I'm saying? Keep reading.
Sir. Before the day of the Lord's anger come upon you.
Right, man. Keep reading.
Come. Seek ye the Lord, all ye meek of the earth.
Right.
Which have wrought his judgment.
Right.
Seek righteousness.
Uh-huh.
Seek goodness.
Uh-huh.
It will be ye shall select him. It may be ye shall be hid in the day of the Lord's anger.
Yeah, man, being here means that it may be if you keep that brotherhood and endure to the end, it may be that you get on that chariot and be hid from the Lord's anger. Because it's coming. That's without a doubt. You know what I'm saying? And it's coming faster than we understand. And that's why I commend General Yohana's lecture on World War III was so significant and pivotal, because this is the man who the Lord chose, who's in the earth today, God in blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. He's the leader of so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man. And he brought that message, man. Listen, man, Moses spoke through Aaron. You know what I'm saying? Aaron would come down and bring what Moses had to say to the people. But when Moses come down and to talk to you and tell you something, hey, look, no sweat. Hey, man, listen. With that, I'm going to go ahead and close out. I want to say the water, you know what I'm saying, to everybody who labored with your brother, you know what I'm saying? It's the ISUPK Killeen Brotherhood class. I'm Precinct Officer Tabazar. I want to shout out Precinct Officer Abiyar and Abon Zayan for helping me hold it down. With that, I'm going to go ahead and give a courtesy salute. To the men, Salakia, the men of Israel, Ahmad Shabbat, Ahmad Barak, Yasmatah, Sar, turn face the sisters, men of Israel, Ahmad Shabbat, Ahmad Barak, Shabbat, Yasmatah, class dismissed.